Hi, it's Vex, and today another deck tech from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. We have our Jeskai deck, Hinata, Dawn Crown. So this deck, is Jeskai. Of course, I told you that already, right? But let's actually read Hinata here. Hinata, Dawn Crown, 1 blue, red, white. Legendary creature, Kirin, Spirit. I don't know what a Kirin is, but it's one of those things. Flying Trample, so you don't see Flying Trample very often, but there it is. The important part is spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. It's a 4/4, so commander damage is on the table because it does have Flying Trample, so you can get in there, 6 times and kill somebody. It is on the table, so definitely track that. Besides commander damage, let's see what Hinata wants you to do. And it actually wants you to do really cool things because it has a cost reduction for you, and it has cross increaser for your opponent. It's not as mean as Grand Arbor Augustine IV, but what it wants you to do is cast lots of spells, or a spell with lots of targets, and then the extra taxing effect is kind of like a trinket tax. It does affect things when your opponent's multi-target, but like when they Swords of Plowshares you, they cost 1 generic and 1 white. Let's say they have Return to Dust, has 2 targets. Instead of costing 4, mana value costs 6. So this is impactful in the game, but the important part is cost reducing your big spells. Now, we have 2 modes of big spells that this can help cost reduce. Usually they're X spells, destroy X target creatures, so it costs 1 less for that. Or big spells that, target 8 creatures or something, and then you get 8 generic off. Let's actually go through those spells and see what kind of discounts we can get. But before we do that, I remind you have your tokens. This deck actually produces lots of tokens right here from the X spells or other generic spells. I played Hinata at my LGS recently, and I forgot a bunch of tokens. I was very embarrassed because I always say have your tokens. I did not have your tokens. So always check twice which cards produce tokens. Even that land, the red land, Sokenzen, produces spirit tokens. I didn't have those, but have those on you. And I have the deck list in the description below, along with the TCG player and channel Fireball affiliate links if you want to help support the channel. All right, let's get into it. Let's check out our cool X spell. Here's our first set of X spells with multiple targets. I think one of the best spells in here is Curse of the Swine. I know you would think it's a red one, but it's actually a blue one. X blue. Exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled by its controller creates a 2/2 green boar creature token, so you just downgrade all the creatures to boars. I mean, you wouldn't upgrade to 1/1s to boars, you just downgrade each creature to boars. A little cute boar token here. Yes, and with Hinata on the battlefield, you just pay blue and just exile any number of creatures you want and turn them into 2/2 boars. You can even upgrade your 1/1s to 2/2s. So extremely powerful Hinata, Curse of the Swine. Now the way I play Hinata is I don't play on turn 4 unless I know it'll survive. I usually play it on turn 6 with 2 mana up, so I can use some of these spells right away. Like Buy Force is insane. Ariela's Fury, right here. This is a very good card here. X red white deals X damage as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or players. Tap each creature dealt damage this way. Players dealt damage this way can't cast non-creature spells this turn. And it's an instant. Then there's Calm Storm, which I think is more powerful. It's also an instant too. Multi-kicker. Choose target creature or player, then choose another target creature or player for each time Calm Storm was kicked. Calm Storm deals X damage to each of them. So that's insane. So if you want to do 5 damage to 5 creatures, what you do is you declare 5 targets. You automatically get 1 free target, so you multi-kick 4 times. So you would pay 4, and then you want to do 5 damage to each creature, so 5x would be 5. Right there, so you'd be 9 generic mana plus red. Hinata will discount by 5, so it'll be 4 red. So I know this one requires extra math, but just do what it would cost first, then minus the Hinata discount afterwards, and that's how you get to your amount that you actually pay. Crackle with Power, deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets. That's really cool. It's not that big of a discount, but Crackle with Power is really cool to just smack your opponents for 20 each if you have a lot of mana. Shatter Skull Smashing is a really good mono double face card. Too bad it can only have up to 2 target creatures and/or planeswalkers, but it's a mono double face card. It's an X spell. It's good for the deck. Then you have massive artifact and enchantment destruction right here. This Bifrost is equivalent to Curse of the Swine for artifacts. Destroy X target artifacts, so essentially 1 red mana, Vandal Blast your opponent's stuff. Heliod's Intervention is even more insane than Bifrost because it's white X. Choose 1, destroy X target artifacts or crit enchantments. You destroy everything of your opponent's. Target player gains twice X life. I would never choose that mode. I've never chosen that mode. You pay white, destroy all artifact enchantments your opponent's control. That's insane. That's why I say play Hinata a little later. Don't play it right away. Release the Gremlins. This is turns a XX red spell. Destroy X target artifacts. Create X 2/2 red gremlin creature tokens. And yes, I do have that token right here. Little cool, cute little gremlins right there. It just turns your Release the Gremlins into a Bifrost with Hinata on the battlefield. But you get to create the 2/2 tokens. This is the controller makes it right here, but this is you're making these tokens. So these are the really powerful spells right there. The other cool X spells are Distortion Wake right here. Return X target non-land permanents to its owner's hand. As you can read, right, if Hinata is on the battlefield, you pay triple blue right there and it becomes a Cyclonic Rift. It's not an instant, it is a sorcery. But essentially you just Cyclonic Rift everything. It's really good. Disorder in the Court, that is an instant. This is a new card here from the Crimson Vow Commander. X white blue. Exile X target creatures, then investigate X times. Now you gotta be careful with exiling these creatures because return the exile cards to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. The cool part is you get to investigate X times, make X, basically makes X clues. Don't exile an opponent's Solemn Simulacrum, give them an extra land unless you're about to die. But usually you just exile tokens and such and just make a bunch of clues. Again, with Hinata, it just costs white blue. You make tons of clues, get a good card advantage, mess up attacks, do cool shenanigans there. Open into Wonder. Here we want to be able to win the game somehow. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn until end of turn. Those creatures gain, whenever this creature deals combat damage to that player, draw a card. So even if you target 2 of your things, you can just deal damage, draw 2 cards. So don't be afraid to just do this for a low amount. Mass Manipulation. This is really cool. I love playing this card. XX quadruple blue. Gain control of X target creatures and our planeswalker. It just makes it much cheaper. It just costs X triple blue, quadruple blue instead of just XX. We have the big spells. These spells don't have X in their casting cost, but our big spells do multi-targeting, which is really good. Brawl's Expertise. Return up to 3 target artifacts or creatures to the owner's hand. Then you cast a 4 mana value card for free. So the cool part is if you have 3 targets, it costs blue, and you can cast something for 4 for free. So it's like you're making mana. Mystic Confluence, 3 blue. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Counter target spell unless controller pays 3. Right there. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Draw a card part doesn't give you a discount, but maybe you want to counter a spell, return a creature, and draw a card. You get 2 mana discount. Plus, it's easy to cast on its own, just like Brawl's Expertise. It's castable. Sometimes, these X spells might not be castable without a lot of mana. You do want castable spells, so Hinata might get killed. It does happen. That's how the game works. Sublime Epiphany. I love this card right here. It has so many modes. 4 blue. Choose 1 or more. Counter target spell. That's 1 target. Counter target activate or triggered ability. That's another one possibility. I've never done the whole 5 target Monty, but it could happen. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That's always a target for that one. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. You can always make Hinata just to make a discount that the token will just die via the legend rule. Or target player draws a card. So you always want to do that. So you can at least bounce. If Hinata's on the board, you could bounce something, draw a card, make a token copy, and that'll be like 3 mana value discount. And most of the time, you might be able to get a 4th one there. You just do a counter spell. You just like blue, do a bunch of cool stuff. So it's like better than counter spell with Hinata on the board. Blatant Thievery. I love stealing opponent's stuff. Here for 4 blue. For each opponent, gain control of target opponent that player controls. So you have 3 opponents, 3 mana value discount. So it's just 1 blue. Magma Opus. Right here is a card from Strixhaven. I love casting this card. It deals 4 damage value as you choose among any number of targets. So essentially, if you do 1 damage to 4 targets, that's 4 mana value off. Tap 2 target permanents. Again, that is another 2 targets. So if you do a 1 damage to 4 tokens, tap 2 permanents, and then you create the 4/4 blue-red elemental creature token, draw 2 cards. You can get the full discount, but don't be worried about trying to get the full discount. If you need to deal 4 damage to 1 target and tap 2 target permanents, that's 3 mana value off. So it's 3 blue-red for 4/4, draw 2, kill some stuff. It's really good. I wouldn't recommend discarding it to make a treasure. This is a token I also forgot. So don't forget to add your tokens. Again, there's lots of little things that make tokens. This has a copy token there too, which I have my Infi token for, just in case I need to copy something. Now this is a cool card I thought I would never play, but in Hinata it is super fun to play. Soulfire Eruption, 6 red, red, red. So that costs 9 originally. Choose any number of target creatures, planeswalker, and or players. So essentially you have 3 opponents, that's 3 mana off. For each of them, exile top card of your library, then Soulfire Eruption deals damage equal to the card's converted mana cost to that permanent or player. You play exile cards until the end of your next turn. So it's you want to play high mana value cards, but your deck doesn't actually have high mana value cards because of X in their spells. So you might not be able to kill a bunch of creatures. It's really random. It's really fun. You just target everything, all your opponents, planeswalkers, all their creatures, and just flip top card and say you might be able to kill some stuff. But then you get to play all those cards until your next turn. So a very good card. I thought I'd never play, but now we found a home for it. This is ultimately a Spellslinger deck. I did include a lot of Spellslinger creatures that have effects when casting spells. We are casting cheap spells if Hinata is on the board or maybe off the board. We do have a suite of cantrips to try to find all of our sweet X spells, our haymakers, I would say. Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordained, Serum Visions, Opt, Jitaxian Probe would be cantrips. 6 cantrips, Faithless Looting, also draw 2, discard 2. Good for just ripping through your deck quickly, triggering those cast a spell effects, which we'll get to soon. Factor Fiction is a good, it's Factor Fiction. It's always good. We have our other card draw effects, or bigger card draw effects, I would say. Jessica's Will makes mana, draws cards. Really helps with your X spells if you don't have Hinata on the board. Makes X spells insane if you do have Hinata on the board. Esper Sentinel, Ristic Study, nothing more to say about those cards. They're great. Here's some cards that trigger on spell casting. Archmage Emeritus, which I love in Spellslinger decks. It's so good. It's drawn me 10 cards before. 2 blue. Magecraft, when you cast this instant sorcery, draw a card. Niv Mizzet, essentially same kind of text. When you cast instant sorcery, draw a card, but whenever you draw a card, deals 1 damage to any target. Extremely good. Whirlwind of Thought. When you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. And this includes artifacts, enchantments, and such. Seagate Restoration, Modal Double Face card, helps you draw a bunch of cards. This doesn't get a discount, but it is a Modal Double Face card, so it can be useful in that right. Remember when I said have your tokens in the beginning of the video? Well, these are some token makers right here. When you cast instant sorcery, make a dude. Cast a non-creature spell, make a dude. Non-creature spell, make some flying dudes. These are all 1/1s. Again, Curse of the Swine can upgrade your 1/1s. Don't upgrade your monk tokens; they're better as monks. Talran makes 2/2 flyers. Shark Typhoon, right here. I love Shark Typhoon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, XX blue shark creature token flying, where X is its mana value. If you cycle it, you can cycle it in a pinch if necessary. Then we have Call the Copper Coats. It works really well with Hinata right here. 2 and white. This spell costs 1 and white more to cast for each target beyond the first. So usually the first target with Hinata is just 1 and white, and then white for every additional target. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white healing soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of creatures those opponents control. So essentially, you now have a 1-for-1 creature parity with your opponents. Beyond the removal suite with your X spells, you have just generically good removal: Swords, Plowshares, Cyclonic Rift, Generous Gift. Have the new Farewell, which I think is insanely good here because it's got Graveyard Hate, and you're more of a Spellslinger deck, so you just run all modes, destroy all artifacts, enchantments, creatures. Vanquish the Horde, Blasphemous just good board wipes. Again, you're not playing that many high creature count, but you are playing, board wipes are really good just to make sure that the board's clear for your cool X spells. We have some of the other section of cards. Protection. I know we don't have a lot of creatures, but we have very important creatures that we want to protect, like Niv Mizzet and definitely Hinata. So I did both Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. We have Spellseeker. The cool part about these X spells is their mana value is actually very low. So Spellseeker can find those cards pretty easily. We have our graveyard card, Past in Flames. If you've seen my graveyard video, I do have one graveyard card in here, Past in Flames, really good. Cast a bunch of spells, a bunch of cantrips back from your graveyard. We do have Graveyard Hate. I know these two are Nambo. Rest in Peace and Past in Flames are Nambo, but since we have very few graveyard cards like Past in Flames and Faithless Looting, Rest in Peace is such a good card against graveyards that we just include it. Soul Guide Lantern is just now a very good graveyard card. Can cantrip if necessary if you're not playing against graveyard decks, but you're usually always playing against graveyard decks. Every deck is a graveyard deck now. That's why these cards are included there. The ramp package actually is pretty robust. We are playing X spells. Sometimes we have to cast them without Hinata, so we need lots of mana. We have Stormkiln Artist with lots of our cantrips, helps greatly. Essentially makes cantrips free because it makes a treasure every time you cast something. Smothering Tithe. Soul Ring, they have Primal Amulet. I really like Primal Amulet. Costs 4, reduces instant sorceries by 1. With Hinata, makes lots of things more cheaper. And then, you know, you could flip it and then copy spells right there. So that is pretty neat. We have lots of 2-mana rocks right here. We have about, let's see, 8 of them. Hinata is a 4-mana value creature. Usually if we do this correctly, we can accelerate. We do not want to cast Hinata on turn 3. We want to accelerate so we can cast Hinata on turn 5, maybe with a mana or 2 mana up. So that's what the mana rocks are for. I really like Liquid Metal Torque because it turns things into artifacts. As you can see, we have Byforce and Helios Intervention. You can kill artifacts. So that's what a good part of Liquid Metal Torque is about. Land package is pretty robust. We got our tri-lands essentially, then the Battle Bond lands, I call it the slow lands, but I think these are very good because they usually come into play untapped. Shock lands, fetch lands, pain lands. They need to reprint the allied pain lands, like Adakar Waste needs to be reprinted really badly. We have other lands here. We have the filter lands. Usually a bias towards blue. We have the bounce lands, bias towards blue again. Then we have the Horizon Fiery Islet land. Again, blue. Blue is a main color because we do a lot of cantripping. Here we have the rest of our lands. We got Castle Vantress for some filtering. And then we have the legendary channel lands. Of course, very good because you can use them as lands. You can use them as spells. Who knows? They don't count as spells. They don't trigger your Spells Matters cards or Magecraft cards, but they're still very good. I usually like 80% play them as lands. Maybe even higher, like 90%. Ancient Tomb for those big mana value cards. Reliquary Tower, Scavenger Grounds, more Graveyard Hate. Always have lots of Graveyard Hate now. I think at least 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate per deck at this point. I used to have 1, now I have 3. Arcane Lighthouse, this is really good. Pay 1 tap until end of turn creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. Meaning those X targets can now target those Hexproof Shroud creatures even if they have Swiftfoot Boots. Now, Swiftfoot Boots grants the creature Shroud, so they will lose the Shroud. So, then we have our basic lands. Not a lot of them because, you know, you have channel lands. But, oh, God, I need to get back to those one distinct monocolor, 2-color decks and have more of these beautiful Kamigawa lands. All right, that is the deck tech there. I'm going to put this together with the rest of the deck, shuffle it up, but do a little Goldfishing. But before we do Goldfishing, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit notification bell to be alerted for new videos. I have the deck list in the description below, along with the TCG player and Channel Bar Fireball affiliate links. Help support the channel. So I'm going to shuffle this deck up real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Let's start off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just love doing that. Counting 7 cards off, flipping them over, see what we get. Let's just get closer here. Okay, we got lands. Our Liquid Metal Torque right there. Shark Typhoon to cycle. Soul Guide Lantern to, Graveyard Hate, of course. Then we have our Arid Mesa as a fetch land. We should probably do fetch a Ruger and Triome first turn. We don't really need to play this right away because nothing really to exile unless somebody else had a fetch land. So turn 1, let's go. Remember, we want to ramp into Hinata on a turn that we can cast our X spell. In this case, our big spell is Blatant Thievery. Each opponent gains control of target opponent that player controls. So that'd be a good one to do. All right, so first we just do we have 2 fetch lands here. And our main color is blue, so we'll just fetch the Ruger and Triumph with our off-color fetch. Here, we'll take 1 life, we'll fetch. Here, see, so Triumph's a full art Triumph, so it's easier to find. No, it takes forever. There it is, Ruger and Trigon. That's the only Triumph we got. Deck's been shuffled. Say go. Turn 2, obviously. our Liquid Metal Torque, Ponder. Okay, that's a sweet card. There, sorry, I gotta move stuff over. Gotta show my graveyard somehow. Ponder. Okay, we save this fetch land to see what we want to fetch. Maybe a basic or maybe like a Hollow Fountain or something. But we could just play Sea of Clouds. Comes in and play untap, which is sweet. There, play our Liquid Metal Torque. And we could just invest in the future or save this for Shark Typhoon. If we play Shark Typhoon, we play this. So I think just saving it is good. Stuff like that. So we'll just save it. We'll go pass right there. Turn 3. Hopefully get something good off the top. Oh, that's good off the top. Whirlwind of Thought. Again, we'll just keep playing our lands. We'll tap this for red. This is the only thing that has red mana. Tap for blue, for white, for colorless. Play Whirlwind of Thought. It's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. So good thing we saved our Soul Guide Lantern because, you know, obviously that you can cast this, draw a card. So this is really good for a Spellslinger deck. Let's go turn 4. Turn 4 here. Draw a card. Oh, Distorting Wake. Wow, this is basically Cyclonic Rift for 3 blue. So what we'll do is, and then cast Ponder, draw an extra card too. So it's great. Let's just play our fetch land here. And then you do a trick with fetch land, Ponder, and Whirlwind of Thought. So what we'll do is we'll just cast see what we want to do. We have 5 mana. We technically don't want to cast Hinata yet. We want to save that for later. So let's do a setup turn where we cast our Ponder here. So we'll just use a 1 blue. We'll cast our Ponder. Look at the top 3. Ooh, Farewell is insane. We'll take that. We want the land too. Oh, sorry. We're supposed to draw the Farewell from Whirlwind of Thought. And then look at our top 3 now. Monastery Mentor, sweet. Brainstorm, sweet. I can draw 2 cards. So we'll take the Brainstorm here. We won't shuffle. Take the land. We love getting land. Monastery Mentor. So let's put that back here. And then we'll actually draw the Brainstorm from the Ponder. Almost forgot to draw a regular Ponder card. Then we'll just Brainstorm here. We'll Brainstorm. Trigger Whirlwind of Thought. Do that. Draw 1 through 3 cards. 2, 3. Now we get to shuffle away unwanted cards here. We love our lands. So, but see, 1, 2, 3. We got a land for next turn. Exotic Orchard is really good. So we could put back 1 land here. And I think Farewell is insane. It will get rid of this and our Liquid Metal Torque. So depending on the board state, I think we're okay, but putting the Farewell back, even though I really like it because you got Blatant Thievery and Distorting Wake right there. So we'll put those back. We'll actually just use our fetch land to shuffle that away. Do we want untapped land? What are we going to cast? Probably Monastery Mentor. That's a good one to cast right there. So we'll just get a little untapped land action here. Let's get an untapped plains. Actually, no, we'll just get a Hollow Fountain because we do want quadruple blue because we need the triple blue for our spell there, and then Hinata is another blue, so we just want more blues. So we'll find our Hollowed Fountain here, untapped. Then we'll cast our Monastery Mentor, get the Brainstorm out of the way here. Doing a lot of fun stuff, more shuffling. All right, we're done shuffling there. We have our Monastery Mentor here. We don't get to draw a card from Whirlwind of Thought, unfortunately, but Monastery Mentor is a great threat. We don't have anything to trigger Monastery Mentor, but we have 2 very potent threats when we cast non-creature spells, so it gives our opponents options. But hopefully, you know, one of them survives. Let's go turn 5. This is where things go crazy in the game of EDH, right? We draw a card, more land. Let's play Exotic Orchard. That's like a rainbow land. Now I have 6 mana. What we can do is Blatant Thievery with Hinata requires 7 mana, unfortunately. We can actually cast it next turn. Or we cast it with Hinata. Crackle of Power is really good. Distorting Wake is good. So I don't know what to do. It's really a lot of questions. So let's just start by just playing Soul Guide Lantern here. We'll play Soul Guide Lantern with a Liquid Metal Torque right there. Draw a card, exile something from the graveyard. Young Pyromancer. Trigger Monastery Mentor. Make a monk. These do say non-creatures. Young Pyromancer said instants or sorcery, so it's a little different there. we could cycle Shark Typhoon. Actually, if we're really greedy, we just cast this. We'll just cast Young Pyromancer, of course. Let's cast our Young Pyromancer. I wish we got another mana rock to help us out here, but we didn't do that. So we cast our little Young Pyromancer. We can cast this for 0 just to draw a card. What we can do is pop the Soul Guide Lantern here, just draw a card, see what we get. Pop Soul Guide Lantern, draw a card. That's what it's there for. Okay, now we can't do anything. We could cycle this to draw another card, but that's okay. We just say pass. We do have little defenders. Say somebody kills our monk. It's like it dies, you know, no problem. Do this turn 6. So now I have creatures that people have to worry about. Have this Whirlwind of Thought that people have to worry about. Our commander's safe in the command zone. Draw a card, Shatter Skull Smashing. That can be used as a spell. So now we have this. And, you know, if people aren't playing counter spells and you're just, you know, pretty certain, we could just do Distortion Wave. So what we'll do is we'll just cast Hinata, play with the colorless, the red-blue by tapping this in the island. We'll play the blue here, and let's see, Exotic Orchard taps for blue. Right there. We cast Hinata. Okay, and then the cool part is, like, after we cast Hinata, no one else can respond because you have priority. Then we could declare casting of Distortion Wake right there. Return X target non-land permanents to the owner's hands. So what we'll do is X will be every permanent your opponent controls. You can also return your own permanents, but I don't see a very good reason to return any of our permanents. We will trigger Whirlwind of Thought. We will make a monk. We will make an elemental. And then we will essentially Cyclonic Rift our opponents for 3 mana on our turn. Now, this will happen. Then if somebody kills Hinata, remember it takes an extra mana to kill Hinata. So like Deadly Rollic's off the table, Source of Plowshares for 1's off the table. We gotta pay 2 for that, 1 for Deadly Rollic, stuff like that. And then we say go, and then we feel really good about ourselves. I put my pile of tokens over there. Let's take another hypothetical turn, even though we just Cyclonic Rifted our opponent. See, it's good to wait with Hinata. That's the whole point. He's got to be nice and patient. All right, we'll draw a card. Rest in Peace. Oh gosh, goodbye graveyards there, right? If you cast Rest in Peace, we'll trigger these 2 as well. So we don't have any lands, so let's actually cast. We can cast Blatant Thievery, steal whatever they just literally just casted by paying 3 blue. And then each opponent, so there's only 3 opponents, so you pay a colorless there. So Liquid Metal Torque. We can cast Blatant Thievery, steal all their good stuff right there. Trigger. And trigger everything. 2 of those. 2 of those. Trigger this, draw a card. Right there. We can even play our Preordain, hopefully find a land. Preordain, draw a card. Trigger. We did fire land. It's a bounce land, unfortunately. But we do actually get to resolve our Preordain. Oh, Stormcam Artist, let's do this. Esper Sentinel's not even good. Look at that, isn't that crazy? Where Esper Sentinel's not even that good. Stormcam Artist, we just want our land. I mean, actually, Stormcam Artist is so good. It's so good. Okay, we gotta keep that. We'll just tap this right here. We'll cast our Rest in Peace. Trigger. We don't trigger the Young Pyromancer, but we trigger the Whirlwind of Thought. Source of Plowshares. Okay. Then we'll just return this, and then return Island to our hand. And that's how we end the turn with 8 cards in hand. Essentially Cyclonic Rifted everything. Stole all their permanents with Blatant Thievery. Right there. 8 full cards, a full board, full hand. This is how we want to live life. That's amazing. Anyways, this is essentially how this deck works. Definitely want to save Hinata for a later turn, and one of the greater cards with Hinata is this Distorting Wake. A 3 mana Cyclonic Rift is so good. Too bad sorcery speed, but it's just really, really good. Alright, so if you enjoyed this deck tech, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos in the future. I have the deck list in the description below, along with the TCG Player affiliate link and Channel Bar Fireball affiliate link. And as always, have a wonderful day.